Land of the Lost will return after these messages.
Aren't you supposed to be sleeping?
At slumber parties, we want your Snap, Crackle, and the Pop.
That's Pop. Ready when you are. Snap, Crackle, Pop coming to your ears.
Perfect.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies, the talking part of this complete breakfast.
Snap, Crackle, Pop, Rice Krispies.
You can rock on and make sound, super sound, with your rockin' music maker. It's super and filled with stickers. One's free in Rice Krispies. Free.
It's the Fisher-Price AM/FM radio with real microphone. Batteries not included. You can be the announcer.
70 degrees, and we got some hot tunes for you.
You can sing along, too. And when you sing into the mic, your voice comes through the radio with the music.
Kid, you are something else.
The Fisher-Price AM/FM radio with real microphone.
And now back to Land of the Lost. Land of the Lost will return after these messages.
These are Super GoBots, the mightiest GoBots of all. Stax, Leader 1, and Psykill sold separately.
Think you're big enough for the king of the road? Try me.
Mighty robots, mighty vehicles, robots.
Too late, Stax. Not so fast, Psycho. Thanks, good buddy.
Super GoBots, Stax, Leader 1, and Psykill each sold separately from Tonka.
I gotta feel the taste, gotta make it right. Just one thing will do. Gotta get Pop, yeah, gotta get Pop.
The Pop sensation of Kellogg's Corn Pop cereal, part of this nutritious breakfast.
I gotta get Pop, yeah, gotta get Pop.
Never before in this galaxy, free Starbots. Star travelers you transform and put together. One free in Corn Pops.
All of the Peanuts gang will be coming up next on the Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show.
And now back to Land of the Lost. And now these messages.
Here's Dreamtime Barbie and BB, your teddy bear. Barbie dream bed sold separately. You put it together.
We girls love getting ready for bed. Right, Barbie? Dreamtime Barbie and BB. We can have fun doing hair, putting a bow on a pink teddy bear. Love your ruffles all around and your matching gown. Here's a bear hat. We girls can dream anything. Right, Barbie?
Dreamtime Barbie doll and BB teddy bear come with everything you see here. From Mattel.
Forgot to over a Cookie Crisp. It's the Cookie Crisp.
Just checking the traffic.
Cookie Cook, this scheme to get Cookie Crisp isn't taking off.
Who can blame me? It looks like little chocolate chip cookies.
But Cookie Crisp cereal stays crispy in milk, and it's part of this complete breakfast. Well, Cookie Cook, it's time you started a new career.
Yeah, this one's definitely winding down.
If you like cookies, you'll love Cookie Crisp. When I look all around, I can't believe the thing.
Don't go away or you'll be in the doghouse. Everyone's favorite beagle is coming your way with Pigpen and Peppermint Patty, Linus and Lucy and all the gang on the Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show. Next.
Living in the land of the lost.
And now, this message.
Are you ready? Because once you bite into the Three Musketeers bar, there's no turning back. It's so light it lifts you to the limit of chocolate taste, with the center ribbed like a chocolate cloud, and coated in velvet smooth chocolate. Go on, lighten up the Three Musketeers, and let your spirits soar.
In the news, making a fuss over ferrets. The black-footed ferret was thought to be extinct, gone forever. But a colony was found, and experts want to make sure the ferrets live on. We'll be back with black-footed ferrets in the news.
We're out to test your tummy.
No way, Bee. I'm so into my workout.
With a taste of nuts and honey.
Nuts and honey.
We're a honey on the nose. We're Honey Nut Cheerios.
Like wow.
Honey Nut Cheerios, part of this nutritious breakfast.
Super.
It's a honey on the nose. It's Honey Nut Cheerios.
And now, ferreting out ferrets in the news. A ferret is a little animal once used for driving rats and rabbits out of their burrows. That brought about the phrase to ferret out, which means to force into the open. Today, in western Wyoming, wildlife officials are ferreting out black-footed ferrets. They used to live in 13 western states, making meals of prairie dogs, but many prairies have been turned into farms, and people have killed more prairie dogs than the ferrets have. The black-footed ferrets ran out of food, and it was thought that they'd completely died out, become extinct. Then, about 4 years ago, a colony of 50 to 60 black-footed ferrets was discovered living on ranches near Meeteetse, Wyoming. Experts say they're the only ones left in the whole world. Recently, scientists decided to capture a number of them and try to raise them in captivity. That way, they figure, even if these remaining wild ferrets die out, those bred in captivity will survive. The rescue program is risky, though. Very little is known about these animals, and they get sick easily. No one's sure they'll survive being penned up, but captive breeding is seen as their only hope. Meanwhile, the ferret furor has turned the nearby town of Meeteetse into the self-proclaimed ferret capital of the world. Lucille Hogg, the town ferret queen, says the little critters stink, but they also help her store's business. I'm Christopher Glenn with black-footed ferrets in the news.
This is CBS.
With a smiley face and a wiggly waist, kids slouching round, living upside down, with a twinkle in their eye, and the time flying by, and the hungry's going around. Mama calls to say, here's your treat today. It'll fill your tummy and it tastes real yummy. When you laugh and play, you'll shout and say, oh, mama, that's what I want.
Taco Bella's Giga Box comes with your choice of a bean burrito or a kid's taco burger, small french fries, a small soft drink, and a hungry surprise with each one. Get your Giga Box today.
Oh, Mama, that's what I want. Yeah.
Watch weather with Byron Weber on the weekend Channel 10 News.
The Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show will return after these messages.
Are you ready? Because once you bite into a Three Musketeers bar, there's no turning back. It's so light it lifts you to the limit of chocolate taste, with the center ribbed like a chocolate cloud and coated in velvet smooth chocolate. Go on, lighten up with Three Musketeers and let your
Woo! Holy jizz juice, how y'all doing? It's been a minute. Welcome, Scott Pellegrino, Scott McGinnis. And yes, this is a members only stream. I don't think I've ever done a members only stream, and there's no particular reason why I'm doing this one members only stream other than just showing gratitude to those of you who are my members. I never give perks, you know what I mean? Like I still don't even know how to upload these little emojis. So y'all just like become members just to support, and that's amazing. And it's really, you know, I'm really grateful for that. So I know it's not much, but I figured I would just do something just to make you guys feel exclusive, you know? So that's all this is. No, yeah, that's all this is. No offense to anybody who can't chat right now. So yeah, so I just figured I would just yeah, do that. There's really not any difference between this stream and any other stream that I do. So yeah. Angel, member for 9 months, thank you, appreciate it. And Blue Eyes Crying, member for 10 months. Wow. Welcome to Logic. Good evening to you. Steak Reaper, welcome to Logic as well. So yeah. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. I'm not even sure which one I want to start with. Like, do I want to start with the Canton Select Board meeting, or do I want to talk about Jennifer Coffindaffer? And I if I'm being totally honest, like if I'm being totally honest, I don't know if I spelled her name right in the title. And what's really funny is I really don't fucking care. If I'm being totally honest, I don't care if I like spelled her name right or wrong. What's up, Patricia Sell? Welcome, member for 12 months. Thank you. Sharon Lewis, member for 10 months. Welcome. I just yeah, I don't care if I spelled her. And I'm kind of just in that mood too. Like normally, like I have time to like take a shower and feel rejuvenated before I do a live stream, and I'm still in my gym clothes. I just kind of timed it bad. I do that sometimes because you'll notice sometimes I push the time back a lot, and it's usually because I just misjudged how much time I'm going to be spending in the gym, and then that kind of happened today. So I just rushed and like made some eggs and some Philly steak and couple of slices of bacon and shoved it down my face, and then now I'm here with you guys. I ate half a gummy and I'm feeling nice. So I'm feeling too relaxed right now to give a shit about spelling someone's name wrong who habitually gets information wrong. So I mean Mistaken Reaper, member for 7 months. Thank you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. The Glare, buddy. Yeah, I hope you are as well, man. I hope you are as well. But it's gotten to the point. Listen, it's gotten to the point where Coffindaffer is just I can't even make sense. Like, I'm just not seeing a former FBI agent. I know she was one, you know what I mean? But I'm just not seeing that in these tweets. I'm seeing an insane person, someone who is just so delusional that she thinks that nobody's ever going to look at logical proof, you know, and they're just going to take her word on shit. It's mind-blowing. I'm going to get into that later. Let me get into the Canton Select Board meeting first, okay? But we're going to talk about old Jennifer Coffindaffer. And I never even had an issue with her, dude. Like, you know, and I had Turtle Boy here, and he said some of the most outlandish shit about somebody who's on TV. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like, because I mean, I never paid any attention to her, but this case, following this case, and then looking at evidence in this case, and then looking at lack of evidence in this case, and just using my GED educated fucking brain, common sense fucking dictates that there's like no case here against Karen Reed. There's no fucking case. Blank screen. What's up, buddy? Is that a Trojan horse condom logo on that? No, it's actually a Spartan. Yeah, it's a Spartan. But thank you for noticing. So yeah, it's crazy to me that she will absolutely look at, she'll take something and post it and then say it's something that it obviously is not, when all you have to do is fucking look at it. It's mind-blowing. And this woman was a federal investigator. But I digress. Let's get into this is my Halloween costume. I'm a walking condom wrapper. Let's get into the real quick the Canton select board thing. And we're not going to watch the whole thing. And also make sure, guys, to sub up to these guys. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And even you guys who aren't members, click on this link and sub up to these guys. This is the Young Jerks channel. Oh no, Sabrina K. Make sure to sub up to the link that I just dropped while I get Cuck Church to dance.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
So yeah, that link I just dropped, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin it. So they stream these. I guess I could find the replay or whatever, but the Young Jerks, they stream these Canton meetings, and I think it's really great that they do this, because it really gives you, at least me, a lot of insight as to what is going on in this town, a feel for how the people of this town feel about all of this and how this case is affecting the citizens in that town. And I like hearing both sides. I'm probably going to say some stuff that you guys may not like, but it's what I do here sometimes, man. I just, I'm going to say some things that not everybody's going to like. And, but I really think if I explain it well enough, you guys mostly will agree with me. So let me go ahead and share. Let me go ahead and click on that video, because I need to get to when the people start talking. That's all I'm going to cover, because they're talking about, little things here in the town that they want to propose, they talk about. But when the people get up there to talk, the only thing that they talk about is this Karen Reed, John O'Keefe case, and how this town is being affected by it. And I find it very, very fascinating. Address.
Name and address, please.
Denise Galvin, Bolivar Street. I never thought that I would feel the need to speak at a select board meeting, though after watching others speak passionately over the past several months on issues that directly affect my family, I decided it was time to take a voice and speak up. I am disheartened and disappointed in the members of the Canton community who continue to come before the select board to publicly vent frustrations and make accusations based on unsubstantiated claims that the police and the select board are somehow negligent in their duties. These people, without justification.
Now I have to interrupt right there, okay? Because there's absolute proof that the Stadies, that Proctor and Tully did a half-assed job in their investigation here. Like they absolutely were negligent. At the very least, I'm not going to accuse them of corruption necessarily, but there's no denying, and it doesn't take an investigator, an experienced investigator, to see that they absolutely were negligent in their investigations. We see document after document. I mean, how are you going to, you're investigating the murder of a police officer, right? You're investigating the death of a police officer. And then what you're doing is you never even knock on the door. Like, to me, that's one of the most telling things that I don't talk about much. But how are you going to conduct a thorough investigation if there is a dead guy on the lawn, police officer or not, but especially a police officer, dead on the property of this home? Any basic investigator, any uniform investigator, not even an investigator, a uniform patrolman or patrolwoman is going to say, hey, do you mind if I take a look inside the house and make sure everyone's okay? Why didn't that ever happen? Because this happens every time there's a situation like this. I mean, you see it on TV. You see it on episodes of Cops. Why didn't this take place? And one of the many things, that's just a drop in the bucket. That is just a drop in the bucket of things that were handled in the most questionable fucking way that I've ever heard of in a murder investigation. It's very, very bizarre. I mean, a red Solo cup from a neighbor? And how many hours did it take a crime scene investigation team to get there? I mean, Margaret Ufert, welcome to Logic. Thank you for joining. How, please explain to me how that is, and how they expect to prosecute on this. Why is the DA so fucking, like, I can't even imagine. Now, again, I'm not an attorney. I've never worked in a courthouse. I don't fucking know. Okay. I just follow a lot of these cases. And it makes no sense to me that a DA is going to move forward with a trial with all of these things that we know about how this case was handled. And these aren't rumors. These are documented facts that of events that took place in this investigation. Documented facts. These aren't rumors. This isn't hearsay. This is this is plain and simple court documents and witness statements. I mean, it's all right here, people. It's all right here. Thanks to Sleuthy Goosey being a fucking savant, we have this that I just dropped in the chat, which has everything that you need to know It has more than everything that you need to know that this investigation, at the very least, was conducted in a negligent fashion. It's just not deniable. And it's all right there. Now, let's hear what these people are saying. Because this lady, she was getting a lot of hate in Young Jerks chat. I was watching it today and I was like, wow.
Or firsthand knowledge accused the Canton police of being incompetent and corrupt while raising questions at the select board about the police department's investigation into the death of John O'Keefe. Your accusations and anger against the select board and the police are based purely on speculation and rumors. The Canton police,
not
the
true,
board, and the silent majority residents are not responsible for the divide within the Canton community.
Court documents are not speculation and rumor. That is easily the most reliable information that you can use to form an opinion in a true crime case that you're following. It is absolutely the most reliable form of information. They are literally receipts. So this lady's just saying things. And I think she cares. You know what I mean? I'll get into that. But I think that she really cares. It's just that I'll explain later.
The divide in Canton community is caused by Karen Reed's defense team, an online blogger, his followers, and a small fraction of outspoken Canton residents influenced by imaginary tales of conspiracy. These people are self-serving while claiming to want justice for John and his family. I stand here today to tell you, as someone who wants nothing more than justice for John, the O'Keefe family is appalled and outraged by the public accusations, protests, and harassment of people closest to John and his family. The O'Keefe family supports the Canton Police Department and the Select Board. Some residents tearfully spoke about anonymous harassment and fearing for the safety of their families due to receiving a mildly contentious letter. Have you been blind to the constant, vicious, hateful, abusive posts,
that's a good point,
letters,
Sleuthy Goosey,
memes, messages, calls, visits, name calling, and profanity that has been directed at my family and friends for the past 8 months on social media, pages that you support? My nieces have been threatened and sexualized. If you support and fuel this grand conspiracy that includes attacks on the police and the select board, then you condone the abuse and harassment of everyone involved. Unlike you, my family didn't ask for this. They didn't insert themselves into a case. They are witnesses to some events and a tragic death of someone they loved. I realize that this tale of corruption is exciting for some, but this case will be tried in a courthouse, not by a blogger charged with felony witness intimidation and harassment who hurls profanities and attacks people's physical appearance for pleasure. It seems like the outspoken Canton residents may want to consider practicing tolerance and acceptance and ask themselves, why are they so quick to believe a false narrative concocted as a legal strategy? In closing, on behalf of my family and friends, I would like to say thank you to
this is the type of person, though. All right, folks, let me let you guys in on a little something about me, okay? I fucking loathe Facebook groups. Okay? I don't go on Reddit. Like, I don't go on 4chan. I don't go on none of those fucking sites. And I hate Facebook groups. I belong to the Justice for John O'Keefe and Free Karen Reed group, but like mostly I observe. I rarely comment. I do comment, but I don't comment a lot. And it's because I don't want to get into a back and forth with somebody. And during the Chris Watts case, there was always people like this that I got into back and forths with. And what ends up happening is I will come up with inarguable logic. Okay? It's not possible to logically refute when I'm telling you need proof. Okay? Like, just hearing things from neighbors and shit like that is not proof. That is hearsay. That's just an example of the kind of back and forth I would get with people. And then a person like this will, what will happen is I will call someone like this stupid. Okay? I will resort to an insult once I realize that we are just going around in circles. And then I'll be like, okay, well, then you're just a fucking ignorant moron, because it's like I'm telling you why you cannot look at that as proof. And I mean, it's inarguable. It's not proof. It's hearsay. It's people that you don't know talking about people that they say they know, that you don't even know how much they know them. You don't know. And I'm saying, before you start throwing accusations at a person who could be innocent, okay, think about that. Because it's pretty damning to get crucified over the internet. This is one of the things that I've always talked about that's always pissed me off, is you have a bunch of people spinning rumors, spinning hearsay, exaggerating behavior, and making accusations at people who are going through a very hard time, to say the least. People who are loved ones of these victims, people who are even just friends, you know? You have to be real careful about what you say about these people without proof. Now, I've always talked about this. And what I'll say about Proctor and Tully is it looks bad. Okay? I don't have proof that they're corrupt. You know what I'm saying? But they're definitely not doing the full service of justice. They're not extending that full service of a quest for justice. Not for John O'Keefe. And they owe it to Karen Reed as well. To make sure to eliminate her. That is the style of an investigation that is tried and true in all law enforcement. And you don't have to be a law enforcement agent of any kind to know this. All you have to do is followed cases. And the tried and true process of investigation is process of elimination, where they will ask, they will say, okay, well, I'm going to investigate this person so that I can eliminate them. And then when they get stuck against a wall where they're like, I can't eliminate them, then they start building a case. Then they make an arrest. Then they start building a case in court, so that when it goes to trial, they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is guilty. But there's a problem with that here, because the investigation does not look in any way, shape, or form as if they practiced the rule of process of elimination. There's nothing to indicate this. That's A. B, when I say beyond a reasonable doubt, okay, understand that there is tons of doubt in this case that we know about. Now, who knows? They might have a rabbit in a hat, so that when this goes to court, they've got irrefutable proof that she is guilty. But I feel like we'd know about it. Like, it would have to be a miracle. And I'm saying it's possible, but not likely. But it's absolutely possible that they have conducted this awful, sloppy investigation, but have something that is like a fucking smoking gun. Right? But it's unlikely, because I feel like we know about it. So everything that this woman is saying is coming from someone who's either just lying or she hasn't done any homework. But we're going to continue. Let's hear the next person, because she's already wrapped hers up pretty
To the
much.
Select Board and Canton Police Department. Don't let the efforts of a few overshadow the gratitude and appreciation of many. For those of you who are not happy with our Select Board, have some respect for the democratic process and allow them to do their jobs. The constant derailing of these meetings interferes with town business. Thank you to everyone who's offered support. And if you ask how you can help, please show up at the special town meeting on November 20th and stand behind your police department and your Select Board. Thank
Now, it's fascinating that that lady just got a standing ovation, because I didn't think that there were so many people in that town that agree with her. But after watching this, I got the most impression that I've gotten yet that this town is split. And that's dangerous. That is a ticking time bomb. Christina Shepard, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Welcome to Logic. It's a ticking time bomb, because each side feels extremely passionate about their perspective on these things. And I love that. I love that they feel passionate, but I don't love the fact that it's a serious problem. Because if people are getting threats, if people are claiming of getting threats, it's bad. It's already bad. So I worry about this community. I really, truly do. Because here's the thing, is I don't get the impression that the people who are speaking on behalf of the Canton Select Board and the law enforcement agencies that are local there, I don't feel that they are malicious, unless they're actually making threats to people and things of that nature. But I'm saying I think that these people really believe in their community, in the people in positions of authority in this community. I believe that they truly believe in them. And that's actually kind of refreshing in a way, but it's also very dangerous, because if you don't ask questions, man, the wool is over your eyes, and for all you know, it's going to be so thick at some point that you're not going to be able to see. It's always important to ask questions and to challenge your government. That is what America was built on. So I understand being very supportive of your community leaders who you voted for, being supportive of your law enforcement agencies that protect you, that you count on to call whenever you're in any kind of trouble. But the thing is, though, is these people are not against the law enforcement agencies, the people who are in support of Karen Reed. These people are not cop haters. I'm not getting that vibe at all. Every person that I see that speaks on behalf of wanting this audit to take place, everyone who speaks on behalf of wanting this audit to take place, simply say, what's wrong with asking questions? If there's, what is there to hide? What is the big betrayal of saying, okay, we just want to make sure that our elected officials and our law enforcement employees are doing their jobs, that my tax money is going to where it's supposed to be going? I just want to make sure they're doing a good job. That's it. And to be afraid of that is very telling. And that concerns me, because all they have to do is just become subject to it. Why not? If you're so, and how can these people, and I say this with respect because I'm not from this community, but it's a valid question, I think. How can the people who are not in support of this audit, how can they say that they are in support of justice? You know, it's very strange, and it's very contradicting. I mean, right. You know, like, these are not people who hate cops. These are people who want the good cops to not get a bad name. They don't want a couple of rotten apples to spoil the bunch. Uh-oh.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
Grandmaster said Sophos, thank you. Homie, where you been, bro? We've missed you. Oh, yeah. I have to take these little hiatuses sometimes, man. This shit becomes a lot. It becomes a lot, you know. So I gotta blow off a little steam from time to time. But it's good to be back. So yeah, so I just feel really bad for like everybody here, because I think everybody's very passionate, because in theory there's nothing wrong with just being in support of your local and grateful to your local law enforcement. I'm grateful to local law enforcement here where I live, you know, but I mean, if if there was something happening here where there was a demand for an audit to make sure, and I knew of these facts of the case, I would be in support of this audit. I would absolutely be in support of this audit. But because I don't think that there's anything wrong with just simply making sure that people who are tasked to do a job are doing their job. And when they're accountable to the people and the people demand it, it should just be. See, Rubicon, you're making a good point. You're saying no one likes audits, but if you're not following the law, you'd be in fear. That's one way to look at it, and I agree with that 100%. But another way to look at it is, if they're, you know, why are the people, why are some of the taxpayers against this audit? What skin do they have in the game of an audit? You know, what do they have to lose? What do they have to lose? Like, you know, like, I could see law enforcement being worried about it. I could see the Canton Select Board being worried about it. But what I can't see are any of the citizens. Like, it makes no sense. You know, now if somebody were to explain it to me, I'd be happy to listen, because that's something that I'm very, very curious about. What is the problem?
Gentlemen, thank you. I'm Jennifer Trethaway. I live at 22 Leonard Street. In the past several months, our town has been divided by a number of issues, compounded one on the other. Regardless of any residents' individual feelings on these issues, the rift is hurting our town as a whole. There have been missteps all around, many of which have been made with the best of intentions. There's an us versus them atmosphere that is.
Yeah. Can you imagine living somewhere that you consider your home? It's like living in a dysfunctional house, but everywhere you fucking go. Like, it sucks for both sides of this, man. It really does. It sucks for both sides of this. Because some of these people just have the opinion that they some of these people just have the opinion that, you know, they're just supporting law enforcement. These are good people. These are good tax-paying people with families, with jobs, you know, and so living with that tension fucking sucks. So it's a terrible atmosphere for everyone. And I feel really bad for both sides. I really do. You know, I mean, I wish that some of the people that because here's another thing. I think another theory is I think that certain things influence how people feel. Certain things will influence how someone will lean, you know? Like for instance, I'm of the opinion that some of the people there that are just blindly in support of law enforcement and the elected officials there, those people are just pissed off that it's happening. Some of those people are just pissed off that this is happening in their community. And they're pissed off because they're holding people like Turtle Boy responsible. And people there's a mentality of, oh, well, these troublemakers. Everything was nice and quiet before these fuckers started making noise, and now they're making fucking noise, and now it sucks to live here. And I'm sure that that's what they're thinking. Some of them, not all of them, but I'm sure some of them are thinking that. And it's unfortunate because sometimes that's more influential to someone's behavior than having the foresight to just look into the facts of this case and realize that there's a reason why all of these people are getting so fucking loud and making all of this noise. So it's not, it would benefit them to just do a little homework. You know, nobody's sitting here saying just take Turtle Boy's word for it. Nobody's sitting here saying just take anybody who's looked into this case and feels the same way, their word for it. Nobody's saying that. We're saying look into it yourself. Right here, just here, dude. Look. There you go. My gift to you. Sleuthy Goosey's spreadsheet that she was nice enough to make and share with me. Like, there you go. That's all you have to do is do a little reading. Dude, I haven't even gone over everything yet. Like, but there's just all this shit wrong with this investigation where I'm just like, if I'm a juror, how the fuck am I stuck doing jury duty for this bullshit? If I'm a juror and that case is being put in front of me, I'm going to be pissed off. Because call me crazy, as a patriotic American, if I was put in that position, I'd be kind of pissed that I had to do jury duty, but I would take it so seriously and take my role that has been imposed on me to be a part of justice taking place in our American court system. I would take that role absolutely seriously. I would not half-ass it in the slightest bit. If I was going to be resentful, I would simply be resentful for the fact that I know now I'm going to have to do all this thinking. And it's not on my terms. So now I got to do all this fucking thinking. Now I got to listen to every fucking thing. Now I got to do something that's not on my terms. That's going to annoy me. But once I'm in that position, I'm not going to fucking sit there and nap, you know, while I'm in the jury box. Hell, I'd probably push to be foreman. Just because this shit just gets to me, man. This is just crazy. I feel bad for all of these people.
Is killing us. All of Canton's residents While we, of course, have different preconceptions, perceptions, and concerns, have a common goal: to live in a welcoming, well-run, fiscally responsible town that both supports and is supported by its residents.
Yes. I mean,
support the third-party audit because an outside company coming
th-
in
this
will
lady
be able to shine
this lady is spitting fucking facts.
a welcoming, well-run, fiscally responsible town that both supports and is supported by its residents. I support the third-party audit because an outside company coming in will be able to shine light on what we're doing right and guide us in improving the areas where we need help. We need to move forward from this divisive place, and I truly believe that the audit will help with that, which is why I will be at the November 20th meeting voting yes on the audit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Rita Lombardi, 8 Kings Road, and I really don't have anything prepared. I know that's a shock. But, you know, we are suffering, guys. We are suffering. And we really need to come together.
This lady right here, like, listen closely to her. I think her name's Rita, I think. But she just fucking nails it. This lady just absolutely nails it. Like, there's no I mean,
we are looking, we have come before you looking for leadership, looking for accountability. We do support the Canton Police Department. And yes, we do. And just like any business, you have good employees and you have not so good employees. The same goes with the government.
Facts.
And the same goes with the police department.
Facts.
And we're just looking for accountability for people, you know, to do things. Audits are nothing to be afraid of. I worked for a company for 17 years. They did audits every year. It was compliance. They had to.
Bro.
And then they audit.
Listen, I used to be a manager once upon a time for Domino's Pizza. Okay. And it was just normal. Randomly, you would get what's called an OER, Operations Evaluation Report. Okay. Now, we took this very seriously. And the foolproof way, okay, to get a 5-star on that audit, okay, the foolproof way is to always be following operational procedures. It's done for you. Now, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. But I'll check the volume. Yeah, when I play it again, I'll check the volume. It may be as loud as it goes, Cammie. I'm sorry. But this is any business with a successful business model. This is their system. That's what the audit is for. The audit, the random audit, where you never know where they're going to walk in with a clipboard, right? And an iPad, where they're going to walk in and just start checking everything. And I mean everything. Like if they walk in and you don't say welcome to Domino's, you lose points. There goes your 5-star right there. So this is the purpose of it is to maintain quality. The purpose of it is not to punish anyone. The purpose of it is not to catch you doing something. The purpose of it is to simply ensure that you are constantly following operational procedures. That you are living up to the brand. The brand says this is what we do. And this is how we're going to provide this service to you and this product to you. And so if you're going to use this brand name as a franchisee, you have to be following those procedures. So it's It's not it's not a punishment. It's simply a procedure designed to ensure quality. That's it. It's not even that complicated.
Audited the work that was performed. And so, this country has been in, and I think this is reflective of what has been going on in this country for the last several years. We're at war with the truth. And the truth, you have the truth, and then you have gaslighting. People who make statements like you just made that are unsubstantiated, that say we have done things without specifics. We're at war with the truth. And the truth, you have the truth, and then you have gaslighting. People who make statements like you just made that are unsubstantiated, that say we have done things without specifics. Please. Some of the writing in this. Wait a second, please.
Yo, you heard what she just said? She just said, I recognize some of the writing in this. So, I didn't even, hold on. Yeah, it's all the way up. So she said, I recognize some of the writing in this. Like, these people are at each other, man. This could be very explosive, and I pray to God that does not happen. These people should be standing together. This is why it's a problem. Everyone here should be standing together. The select board should be standing together, welcoming an audit, welcoming it. And they should be properly representing the people. And none of them have seemed to make any effort at these meetings. And this is what's concerning. They haven't seemed to make any effort at these meetings to try to really appease this ticking time bomb, which is their job to do. If there's any job that they have to do, it's that. If there's any job that is important in what they're doing, it is to make sure that that implosion never takes place. And they're not seemingly doing much about it. And these people are all nicely, all of them. Let's be fair. I'm not including telling mistruths or anything like that, but they've all been respectful. Every single person that's gotten up there and spoken their mind to that select board, every single one of them that have done this have been respectful, have been articulate, have made good points. And they're simply asking for results from their elected officials. This is not uncommon. Maybe it is these days, but it fucking shouldn't be. We should simply be able to ask them of equality, a token of effort to show that they care about the town that they live in and they care about its people. Like, it's, and they're not seemingly doing this.
Excuse me, folks. Let the speaker speak.
Okay, look, all I'm saying is if people are going to make accusations, they should support it with facts and not just say somebody this or somebody. We know there's a big smear campaign coming after us. People need to know what is truth. If people cannot defend what they said with facts, then it's gaslighting. And all I'm saying is I hope that we can come back together again as a community, but we have to start somewhere. And if we wait until after this trial, and by the way, none of us have come here asking questions about the trial. We're not asking, we're asking for leadership. And Tom, you and Mike know I've met with you personally, and so have other people outside of this environment to help us move forward. That's all we want to do is move forward. And so I wish you wouldn't laugh. It's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of you.
Please.
So anyways, listen, I've had enough, okay? All I'm saying is I didn't hear any of you denounce the letter that we received. You all wrote it, and it was full of vitriol and anger. I'll totally agree. And are we going to wait for another tragedy, before we denounce it? And this is not, we have done nothing violent or said anything that was untruthful. And we don't advocate for people to go and protest. If people are protesting, if people are throwing things or doing things, people have cameras. They need to take pictures and present the evidence, and those people will be held accountable. We do not support that kind of behavior. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that's important, man. That's really important.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mindy Millman. I live at 59.
It's important because, like, she's not really separating herself from the people who feel differently than she does. The way that she sees it is that this issue is splitting us, and it's a problem. And there are very logical ways of dealing with this. And if people are throwing things, then no, that's not me. That's not anybody who I support in any of this. I want my town back. I'm on your side. So if you see these things, take screenshots, take pictures with your phone. Everyone has a camera on them now. Everyone has one. It's very easy to produce evidence if these things are happening. So, that's what, and she's merely saying, all I'm asking anybody to do here is listen to logic, to be rational. That's all I'm asking anyone to do. Look at facts. Know the difference between facts and assumptions. The difference between facts and, hearsay and bullshit. And apply your common sense to go, hey, that's my neighbor. Without proof, I'm not going to assume this person's doing something. Because what's happening right now, people, this is the craziest fucking shit that I've ever seen in covering true crime. And I'm going to be 150% honest with you. I've covered quite a few cases. And I've covered a few cases where the room is split in a chat. People are attacking each other in chat. People are attacking each other in different chats. Creators are attacking each other. But it's all virtual. This is the first time I've ever seen it for real. This is the first time I've ever seen an actual real life blood and flesh community split like this. Because here it's, the worst thing that happens is probably swatting. People go real life and then they get somebody swatted, which is like fucking almost nobody does that anymore. Like, it's a really shitty, fucked up thing to do. So, like, but besides that, it's like doxing, calling somebody's job and shit. And that shit should not fucking happen. But that's the worst that it gets here. You know what I mean? Like, these people could actually get to a point and physically hurt each other. Start passive aggressively doing fucked up shit to their house. Much easier for these people to harass someone's job. And I got to tell you, I'm worried. Because I don't like it. I don't like it when I'm covering a case and the room is split. I don't enjoy it. I make like I do. You know what I mean? Because I hold my own. And I'm just not going to let somebody just be fucking stupid and shitty without calling them out. But I hate that it has to happen. I'd rather be sitting up here talking about fucking movies and shit. if I'm being honest. You know, I watch a lot of movies. I'd love to just sit up here and fucking, you know. But I've been part of this community for so fucking long that now, you know, this is just something I fucking do. I mean, it's crazy. And you know who's usually the wrong ones? Like, did you notice that when Rita was speaking, she got taunted, she got heckled? I mean, nobody did that when anybody was speaking on behalf of the select board and law enforcement. Nobody did that. You got to look at the behavior, you know? You just got to look at the behavior. Who's the least likely group of people in that scenario to do any research and actually know what they're talking about? I'd say the people who are acting the most irrational and being the rudest. That's probably the safest assumption. Doesn't necessarily make it so, but it's a pretty safe assumption, right?
Walpole Street. And I first want to start out and say to just everyone to clear up something. I do not believe in banning books. Somehow that got out there. I ran for library trustee back in the last election. I do not believe in banning books. I never did. But what I'm here to discuss tonight is I just want to let my opinion and my feelings be known. I'm here to support the select board and the police department. Until anybody shows me anything otherwise, I believe in everything that they're doing, and the police department.
And see, that's the mentality. See, like there's context in the wording of things. There's meat in that, okay? And the meat in that is she is saying, I'm here to support the select board and the police department, right? But nobody on the other side is attacking the police department and the select board. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. But what they're doing, the people as a majority, what they're doing are they're basically just demanding better. They're not saying get rid of this person, not as a majority. They're not saying get rid of this person, get rid of that person, you know, throw this fucker in jail. You know, some of these people, I see some of these people making comments like that. But the people that are showing up here, and these people fucking matter because they're showing up to the select board, they're citizens, and they're saying, hey, like, they're not doing any of that. That the people who do this do not represent them. And they're simply putting on an argument saying, all we want is to make sure that our police department are doing their job. This could settle everything. That's the amazing thing about this audit, is it could settle everything. If that audit comes through and there's a couple of problems and a couple people got to go, everyone will get over it. Everyone will come back together and get over it and move on. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not, these people, she's wording things saying, I'm here to support the select board and the police department, as if people are saying the police department and the select board gotta go. That's not what they're saying. They're saying we just want to make sure that the police department and the select board are doing everything that they can to get justice in these cases. Karen Reed is just an example, people. The John O'Keefe case is just an example, folks, to these people. It's just an example. It's just them going, wait a second. This is crazy. I can't believe that my police department were this negligent. And I can't believe that the select board isn't doing anything about it. Why aren't they? And that's all they're doing. You don't think these people want a result where they're like, okay, this is gonna happen from now on. We're gonna make sure we feel that this investigation was mishandled, and we're gonna do better. That's all they want. I mean, I don't think that that's unreasonable, especially with all the evidence. I mean, I just don't see how that's unreasonable.
I'm here to support them, every single one of them. They have my support. Thank you for all that you do. And it's a lot of hard work. And thank you very much for your service.
Thank
I mean, it's a nice sentiment that she's saying that, you know. Again, I don't think that this woman is malicious. I think that she is just a concerned citizen who believes in her police department and believes in her elected officials. She's a voter. She's supposed to believe in them. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but at the same time, like, morally, there's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. And I realize a lot of people are going to be like, no, she has a responsibility. Sure, that's a fair argument. But I don't think it makes her a bad person. You know, it doesn't make her the villain here because she's saying that she supports her law enforcement and she supports her select board. I mean, you know, like, I mean, dude, I don't even want to know because I already got an idea. But how many of you people out there support Trump? You know what I mean? How many people how many people of you out there support Biden simply because he's not Trump? And I don't want to hear the answers, but I bet you there's a fair share of each of you. There's a fair share of each of you who feel that strongly about the state of politics in this country. And you're supposed to. But be feeling one way, having this opinion over here, and then having this opinion over here, it doesn't make you bad people. You know, it doesn't make either one of you bad people. You know? Doesn't even make either one of you right or wrong. On certain things, sure. But not really. Not enough to be at war, you know? Like, so, you know, it's, I wouldn't think that it's fair to villainize this lady. Sure, like, is she complacent to a problem? Sure. But here's the thing about that. She has the right to be. See, we don't get to cherry pick. We don't get to cherry pick. You know what I mean? You don't get to cherry pick our freedoms. Okay? You don't get to tell somebody what they can do with their body, right? Isn't that in its own sense feeling like you get to tell her what to do with herself? You'll get it both ways. Freedom comes with the good and comes with the bad as far as what your opinions and feelings are. And the secret, in my opinion, to being a patriot, a true American patriot, is to respect anybody else's feelings. Respect anybody else's opinions. Simple. But when passions are high, you know, when passions are high, like they are in this town, it's not that easy to do. It's not that easy to do. And I feel bad for that entire community. I really do. Now, I don't know how I feel about the people in question. You know what I mean? I need a little more evidence, but I definitely think they need a fucking audit. You better believe that shit. These motherfuckers need some looking into, to say the least.
Anyone on that side would like to speak? Or we're kind of going back and forth. Then we'll go. Oh.
Hey everybody, my name's Karen Kelly. I live on Randolph Street. And if you guys could just give me 1 second. I wasn't prepared, but I kind of am prepared.
Yeah, that's what I meant, Katie May.
So I started a Facebook page about a month ago to try to combat the false rumors that have been going on around for these wonderful people sitting here that came to support the select board. We've all tried to connect on social media, and these people have attacked and ridiculed us. We have tried to meet, and they threaten the venues we approach. If you disagree with this mob mentality, they pour down hate and they ridicule us. They threaten people's livelihoods and their businesses. They demand to be heard while they do everything in their power to silence us. We have had enough. They want to transform our town to create a new form of governance. They can't win elections, so they want to nullify those who have been elected. Look around this country and these towns and these cities where the operatives have been successful. Look at San Francisco, New York City, Chicago, Portland. Look at Boston. Those cities are lost, and now they're coming for our town, shamelessly using the cover of a murder trial to leverage to advance their political agenda.
What?
We all know who and why is behind this movement. We all know the leaders and the pawns. We should also know that in order to protect our community, don't sit back, fight back. November 20th, special time.
Now, again, I'm kind of stupid, so bear with me. But who stands to benefit politically who thinks Karen Reed is innocent? Or at the very least that the cops didn't do their fucking jobs? Like who stands to gain politically? I mean, I don't understand that. I think that's a weird thing to say. Because, I mean, the only people who stand to gain politically would be the people trying to prosecute Karen Reed. Right? I mean, they're the only ones with in any position to benefit politically. So I don't get the
meeting at the Canton High School at 7 p.m. Vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Christine Smith, Three Meadows Ave. I, like most people on both sides of this who have spoken, have been very upset by the divide that's in this town. And I just want to draw everyone's attention to the hard work that our Finance Committee has done over the past couple of weeks. I encourage everyone, whatever side you are, whatever opinion you have on this, to watch those meetings. It's an example of a thoughtful, well-informed process where all the voices are heard. They've worked through some very difficult issues, and I think people should come to town meeting. Everyone should come to town meeting and vote their conscience, but I think you should really be informed by facts and the work that the Finance Committee has done to put forward a path forward that will work for everyone in Canton, that will bring the town together, I think is really important. And Mr. Duty spoke to a warrant booklet that will be coming to everyone's mailbox next week. I urge everyone to read that. That has the facts, that has the motions, that has the intelligent discussions in it. And I think decisions should be based on that, not on rumors and memes and misstatements. So thank you.
Well, I actually agree with that. But the problem is that if you read that stuff, it actually shows that there's some fucking negligent, shady shit going on. I mean,
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 Dad.
think we got a super chat.
Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate that. I mean, that's bizarre that she's like, yeah, read the intelligent conversations that are happening. Well, yeah, read the statements and see that there are people lying all over those fucking statements. It's so clear that they're lying. Like, you're going to tell me, you're going to sit here and fucking tell me with a straight face that Nicole Albert slept through a dead cop on her lawn while there was EMTs, Karen Reed screaming and hollering. I mean, no, dude. No. You're going to tell me that Jen McCabe didn't run up there and tell her sister that this commotion was going on. She didn't call her. She didn't text her. I mean, just come on, dude. Like, it's so... Right. Like, yeah, it makes no sense. Like, it's the silliest thing in the world. Just vote yes on it. It's not like your job's on the line, you know?
Do we have time?
Minute 8 seconds. Unless someone's
Anybody on that side? Just going back.
I know.
Okay, go ahead then.
Okay.
Floor is
So-
yours.
I don't know if I'm close enough. Okay. Good evening, guys. Trish Boyden, Canton resident. On November 20th, a special town meeting is being held at the Canton High Auditorium starting at 7 p.m. To participate, one must be a Canton voter. One of the articles in the warrant is to ask citizens to vote for an independent audit of the Canton Police Department. I'm standing tonight in support of Canton Police. I noticed a sign yesterday that said support Canton Police or something to that effect. I know that the vast majority of the men and women of the Canton Police Force joined the force and wanted a career in law enforcement because they believe in upholding the rule of law. I'm guessing most would welcome an independent audit of the Canton Police Department. Audits are a reality of business and administrations everywhere, including police departments. As a small business owner myself, we've been audited many times, from applying for lines of credit to receiving certifications for our business. Anyway, the sign implies people don't support the force. On the contrary, we, the Canton residents, believe it will likely result in an A score. I believe that anyway. But why not know for sure? It should be understood as a way to assess and possibly improve standard operating procedures. Thanks very much.
I mean, plain and simple. It's plain and simple.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak? How much, do we have much time left, Mr. Alvin?
We could do another speaker.
We could do, if anybody else would like to get up, say anything? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I make a motion that we adjourn the November 7th meeting.
I mean, I just don't, it's so crazy to me that anybody would be against that. You know what I mean? It's crazy that anybody would be against this. Makes no sense to me.
Thank you very much, everybody, and we do, let's work together. Let's figure this out. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
And that last lady, she didn't even express her opinion on the case. Nothing to do with it. She didn't say anything against anyone else. She was simply saying, I'm in support of the police department. And I think that everybody who joins the force because they want to help people. And her experience probably interacting with cops there, they're probably just really, really nice, really kind to her, and really helpful to her, probably more than one occasion. Like, it's not impossible. I mean, it's highly unlikely, because she's saying we're going to get an A+. I have all the confidence in the world. And I think that that's a nice sentiment. But realistically, no. No. Something's going to get found. And nobody in that community should be afraid of these things being found. They should be for these discoveries being made so that you take the next steps to improvement, because nothing's perfect. But if you're always striving for perfection, or at least excellence, if you're striving for excellence, then you should simply want to have these audits take place so that it's taking the next steps forward to making improvement, because there's always room for improvement. So there's nothing wrong with this. It's crazy that they're looking at this like it's an attack on the police department when it's simply not. It's not an attack on a police department that is going to get an A+. You know? Like, let's hope they do. Like, I know I'm not wrong. You know, I know I'm not wrong, but I hope, part of me really, really hopes, most of me hopes that Karen Reed is the right one that they got. Because regardless, John O'Keefe is no longer with us. He is deceased. And if they have the right person in custody, well, then he got justice, especially if they successfully try her. Now, what if she is guilty? What if she is guilty? And because the question here is not whether or not Karen Reed is guilty or innocent. This is the problem. This is where I'm at. And this is where a lot of these people in this community seems like they're at too. Diane Ganj. Welcome. Sorry for messing up your name. Welcome. Thank you. I hope that I'm wrong, because this would mean that Karen Reed is the person responsible, and she's the law enforcement got justice. But this is where it gets really tricky, because what if she is guilty and then they get her in court and there's enough evidence for a jury and all the public to go, bullshit, now I know she's guilty, but there's some technicality where they failed to conduct this investigation properly. And then the person who's responsible for John O'Keefe's death, a local police officer, the person responsible for that walks free because of some bullshit technicality, because they did not conduct their investigation properly, because they fucked up evidence. They didn't search a house. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. So the problem is, this audit needs to happen, because the way it looks right now is either A, Karen Reed is innocent, or B, she's going to walk because they fucking fouled up their investigation. They cagged it. Because there's no way they'll get a conviction in court. There's just no way they'll get a conviction with what they have. I just don't see it happening. But see, the fact of the matter is both, in both scenarios, law enforcement is absolutely responsible. And this needs to be looked into. And that's simply what these people in this community are demanding. That's all they're doing. And I support those people 150%. So let's move on. This person is I just I don't understand what her thinking is. We're going to go over a couple of things. Let's just get to know old Coffindaffer a little bit here. Let's get to know her a little bit.
For 7 weeks, we have been closely following the Gabby Petito case and the search for Brian Laundrie, each night bringing in experts to help us dissect the investigation. One of those experts is former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
An expert.
I just want to see that surveillance report because I find it very difficult to think that they would not recognize a male versus a female.
I think many people, myself. And while our conversations with Jennifer have focused on the Petito case, there is a side to Jennifer that you didn't know about, and it is the reason that she got into law enforcement. As a college student, Jennifer was walking home one night when a man grabbed her, tried to take off her clothes, and drag her into his car. Thankfully, a police car scared that man away, but that traumatizing experience revealed Jennifer's calling and a new purpose to pursue criminal justice and eventually join the FBI. Tonight, Jennifer is here to talk about her personal journey and also the impact that Gabby Petito's case has had on her. And Jennifer, as you know, so many. Thank you tonight for sharing your personal story.
Hi, Marnie. How are you?
Well, I'm good. And I heard about this a couple of weeks ago, and I just, your resilience and your choice to do what you do is truly remarkable. So I think it's powerful, and I hope people at home can connect.
I mean, it's terrible when you get attacked. Absolutely. But, you know, we know why you became an FBI agent. What we want to know now is, why do you suck at analyzing cases currently?
To what happened to you and what you did, more importantly, in the years that happened afterwards. I want you to take us back, as difficult as it may be, to the night that you were attacked.
Yeah, it's something interesting, Marnie, that you don't think about in those specific details a lot when something like this happens. But what happened to me was, it was a Monday, and I had just left a sorority meeting. It was about 10 o'clock at night. And I remember it was so vividly cold that
All
night.
right, shut up for a second.
It was about 10 o'clock, and I was actually going to a girlfriend's apartment to
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a...
Diane Gagne, thank you so much. Appreciate it. For coffee and whatever you want, that isn't much money. I appreciate that. It is always very, very kind and helpful. Thank you.
study for Spanish with her. And as I drove across town, I actually did think I saw lights following me as I was driving, but as young girls would do at the time, I didn't really think much of it and proceeded on to the apartment complex. I pulled into a parking spot, and again, it was really cold. I had a dress on, and so I removed the textbooks from the back of my car and started walking toward the foyer entrance of the complex. And as I started walking, I could hear footsteps behind me, and I turned and looked, and immediately when I saw the man, I knew I was in a lot of trouble. I dropped my books and
Y'all hate this lady, bro. It's just looking at my chat is killing me right now.
ran as fast as I could possibly run to the foyer entrance door, grabbed the door, but just as I grabbed it, he came behind me and it put me in what they call a carotid hold, which is where you take your arm and you squeeze it around the neck. And he put me to the ground and began to try and rape me. Fortunately,
Mike, thank you for the Venmo. Appreciate it, buddy.
I was screaming. At that point, I didn't know how to defend myself. But everybody has a fight, flight, or freeze syndrome that comes about them. For me, I'm definitely a runner. I'm a fleer. And so I wanted to flee, which helped me out a lot. I screamed, and somebody in that complex, I believe the father of the girlfriend.
I don't want to be a dick, and I'm not trying to minimize her experience because, God, that's fucking terrible. But I mean, do you think that's comforting to tell people that you're a fleer and a runner when conflict happens? Now, maybe at the time, but that's not what she said. She said it currently. You know? So do you think that's comforting to tell people on social media and on the news? Well, on News Nation. But, you know, that's what the FBI is hiring to catch the most dangerous criminals in our country, to catch terrorists, a fleer, you know, a runner. I mean, you said it. I didn't. You know what I mean?
The girlfriend I was going to see called the police, and we both heard sirens. So in this process of him, you know, attempting to try to rape me, we both, you know, could hear the sirens. And so at that point, he pulled his pants back up and began to drag me out of the building and to a car that was waiting with his accomplice. So he was trying to rush and get me out. And it was kind of like the child when they grab the railing on the outside banister area. And I grabbed that and just held on as he tried to pull. And we could hear those sirens getting closer and closer. And then he let me go and ran toward his accomplice's car and got in the car, and they spread away. And I was pretty hysterical.
See, that's my point.
I remember just running up and down that apartment complex.
See, that's exactly my point. You know, like, I mean, like, we're gonna get into her tweets after this. Now, it's a shame that she's, you know, that she had this traumatic experience. I hope they caught the guy, and I hope that he got the worst fucking treatment in prison that you could possibly get, because there's nothing fucking lower to me than a fucking rapist. So, but, and yes, a child molester, but you know, that's all rape to me. So nothing lower. So, you know, but my issue is, you know, what is because I'm playing this so we get an idea who she is. Okay. We're going to talk about her. So I want to get an idea who she is. But I'm trying to understand the standards for FBI agents. Like watching movies, you know, like movies about like Hoover and shit. You know, like Hoover is like the standard for the FBI agent was like the elite, you know, like above everything else. And then, you know, they end up having to be college educated too. And, you know, they need to have psychology degrees and shit like that later on. just the best of the best, right? They have to wear a suit, you know, like, I mean, the standard is supposedly really high, but what's going on here? Like, was she hired? I mean, it's a fair question because now I'm kind of seeing where Turtle Boy was saying that she was a what did he say? Higher, what kind of higher? A gender higher or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said it while we were live, and I was just like, wow. But it doesn't sound so crazy when you're hearing this. I mean, again, I'm not trying to minimize her trauma, but that doesn't make you qualified to join the FBI. You know what I mean? Since when did that become a qualification? I'm confused.
And that's the story.
It's so traumatizing, Jennifer, and horrific.
A diversity hire.
I don't
Thank
even
you.
have the words to describe it, and you lived it. Thank you for sharing it. It's powerful, and it's important because so many women experience the same thing that you did. And the man who assaulted you, as I understand, was never caught, but police said that you were not his only victim.
Right. There were approximately a dozen women that were attacked. And it's really been kind of a great white whale for me. I mean, I would love to get some of those guys that you saw in that folder or in the preview that are my really dear FBI classmates that are now retired. And I would love to have us go and find that man, because I think we could. And it definitely inspired me to go on and put other bad guys in jail. And I think more than anything, and I know I seem vulnerable right now, I'm just kind of reliving that, but not to be vulnerable again and to learn the best techniques and be part of the best organization.
I mean, but you can't even apply those techniques on Twitter, bro. Like, lady, who the fuck are you kidding? Like, you can't even apply those techniques on Twitter. Seriously. But see, here's the thing, man, is like, I hope that shit happens, you know, but for the sake of her getting justice, I hope she gets hooked up with her retired friends, right? And they get together, they go after this person, this perpetrator, and I hope they fucking do whatever the fuck they got to do. But for the sake of her getting justice, I hope that someone else is doing the investigating, because just based on her tweets, I'm like, if you're doing the thinking in that group of people, your chances are, you know, a little slimmer.
That I understood existed for putting bad guys in jail and being able to fight back.
You took that experience and you pursued your passion. You were great at it, and you made a difference, especially having a woman in the position that you held with the FBI as an agent. Before I let you go, Jennifer, we have asked you so many questions about Gabby Petito's case, about what has happened to her. Your professional opinion about the investigation is what you have shared. But now knowing what you...
I mean, but it's true. Like, Cherry is like comparing her to Chris McDonough, who she's referring to as Chris McTwat Muffin. And I mean, like, it's just so annoying seeing those two on panel together and agreeing with each other, and like, they're the biggest fucking boobs on social media who happen to be ex-law enforcement. Like, how are you ex-law enforcement and the biggest boobs on social media when it comes to talking about crime cases? It just makes no sense. Or exactly, Jennifer, and that's exactly what I did in all those years of experience as a law enforcement. I can't fucking stand that dude, bro. Like, he never makes any sense. Like I don't listen. I listen to this guy, and I think, like, where's the law enforcement experience, bro? Where is it?
Personally experienced. How has Gabby's story impacted you?
Well, I think that her whole situation is very personal to me. And it's because I understand that innocence. We were at the exact same almost time in our lives. And it's an innocence that you can, it's difficult to explain that,
Welcome, Tom. Speak to you. Thank
that you
buddy.
never have again. And when I found out that it was manual strangulation that took her life, those thoughts of being strangled, because it's horrible, of course, came back. And it's just very personal how.
Bro, this is such fucking fluff. Like, where is, I don't want to hear that from a former FBI agent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear that shit about a case from a former FBI agent. What I want to hear is analytics. That's what I want to hear. Analytics, insight from your experience in law enforcement, not this fluff shit for your 90% female demographic. Because that's exactly what this is. Listen, people, it's not sexist, okay? I'm not sure of that number. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that the majority of that demographic that watches News Nation are women. Okay? The majority of the people that follow me are women. Because it's true crime. Street Squad. I'm not going to do the song because thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Because it's true crime. It's just the way that is. Like, that's the demographic because the advertisers, the companies, the corporations that advertise in between spaces when you're watching News Nation, those are going to be products that are aimed towards the female demographic because that's the majority of people watching. So they're going to try to sell things like tampons and feminine soaps and baby diapers and shit like that. So it's just the way that is. It's smart marketing. But this is exactly what they're doing here. This is some fluff shit. This isn't for people who actually care about learning about a case. This is for the non-analytic women who are, because unfortunately they outnumber because it's my experience. But the ones who are so involved in the drama, in the soap opera aspect of these true crime cases, because we're not hearing anything analytical about the Gabby Petito case coming from an FBI agent. What we're hearing is a woman who is discussing her trauma as an attack victim. But analytical people aren't going to want to hear that from her. Analytical people are going to want to hear her insight as an FBI agent in regards to this true crime case that she's referring to, the Gabby Petito case. And everyone was talking about it. But this is just fluff bullshit. I'm totally going there. And I know people are going to be like, I told you Clara was a misogynist. I'm not a misogynist. I'm just stating facts. I'm stating fucking facts. I'm saying that News Nation did this shit on purpose to target a particular demographic. And that is the demographic of people who prefer the drama of true crime cases over the facts and the analytics of a true crime case. That's what I'm saying. Because they outnumber the people who are more interested in the analytics, in the boring stuff. That's all it is. And that's why they're doing this. They don't care about those of us who want to hear analytical insight from an FBI agent, because we don't outnumber those who want the drama. It's just that simple.
She passed.
Right. Jennifer Coffindaffer, your vulnerability is powerful. And as I said, it's important. And there's someone on the other side of that screen who has experienced it or will learn from your story. Thank you for your professionalism, and thank you for your personal story.
Thank you, Marnie.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Learn what? Okay, now, you guys, let's do this now, okay? Now, there's a lot of like stuff here that doesn't involve the Karen Reed case, but I'm just going to go over that stuff, because if I'm not familiar with the case, I'm not going to like state my opinion on it, you know, on what she's saying. So this is her Twitter. And so this is one post. And it's shocking to me that she hasn't blocked me yet. It's crazy to me that she hasn't blocked me yet. Says here, I think this is her latest post. I have been remiss. Everyone is focused on the drama involving the relationship between Karen Reed, the blogger, and their contrived conspiracy, that there has been no focus on what matters. Officer O'Keefe. Now, this is fucked up. Because if she's so fact-driven, okay, because here she is trying to make herself look like she is the stand-up, not so morally corrupt, not so morally bankrupt person. And the focus should be on John. But there's a couple of interesting things about this. And I'm not even going to... Well, I will read it. Just out of respect for John O'Keefe. But I'll read what she wrote. Officer O'Keefe was an amazing human by all accounts. He served as a Boston police officer. He was a beloved friend, son, father figure, and brother. He was kind and selfless, even adopting his nephew and niece when they lost his parents, his sister and brother-in-law. The travesty has devastated the O'Keefe family, leaving Officer O'Keefe's parents in their 70s to raise the grandchildren with the help of their other siblings. Officer O'Keefe's adopted children are devastated, now having lost 3 parents. Remembering Officer O'Keefe today, who was hit and died in the cold. Continuing to promote truth and seek justice for the O'Keefe family. Okay, now, those are beautiful points. Those are absolutely beautiful points. But she's not saying these things because she gives a shit about justice for John O'Keefe, because she wouldn't ignore all of the blatant evidence that there has been a botch in this investigation that is going to make the person who she's saying is guilty walk free. That's a fact. That I can guarantee you is going to happen. So, and I always like respond, like I always reply. I wonder if she's deleted my comments at all. Yeah, I think she deleted them. I think she deleted them. Because I responded. Oh yeah. My reply was hidden by the original post author. But that's okay because that's okay because yeah, let me and I think all my responses were hidden. So let me just do this real quick. And then hold on. Yeah, because she pulled some shit today that we're gonna get to. It's very fascinating. Um, she pulled some shit today, and I'm gonna go over this stuff. Um, I don't know what order these are in, but she, of course, hid. She, of course, hid all of my replies. But she hasn't blocked me yet, even though she blocks people constantly, which is very fascinating. So, let's do this real quick. Let's do this real quick. Um, all right. So I took screenshots of my replies. So here's one post where she writes, "Justice for John O'Keefe. I said I could have hit him. First responder said that Karen Reed said she even spelled it wrong. Said I hit him, I hit him. She told the blogger I clipped him. They listen very carefully to the wording in this post. Okay, she says." She told a blogger, I clipped him. That blogger being Turtle Boy. Karen Reed has been all over the media and given so many statements. Not wise. NBC News clip of her and one of her texts to the blogger below. Each statement continues to reveal what the facts support, and it is not the contrived conspiracy she perpetrated, now unmasked. Now, you see what she does here. Okay? She just takes an excerpt, right? Of a text thread. Okay, now this text thread, this is very important because this text thread is supposedly a text thread between Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. Okay, now remember in there she says in the post, like, this is why I say this is somebody who doesn't pay attention to facts. And the fact that she would mislead her followers like this, and I believe deliberately, just to, and she may not even know that she's doing it. She's doing it on purpose, but she's doing it unconsciously. If that makes sense, she's doing it out of just sheer habit, DNA, a lack of self-awareness. A lack of self-awareness to the fact that she is deliberately being misleading. Now, if anybody's ever been in a even remotely abusive relationship, you know what I'm talking about. Because some people are just assholes without even thinking. Now, and it's not an excuse. So, but remember, up here she says, she told a blogger I clipped him. Okay? That's all she says. And then post the screenshot of the text. Okay? Post the screenshot of the text. And the text says, off the record, I never believed I hit him. I thought maybe he changed his mind and ran after my car for a ride, and I clipped him and he passed out. Okay? Listen to the wording in that. I thought maybe he changed his mind and ran after my car for a ride, and I clipped him and he passed out. Now, listen to the context of this. I'm going to read the very top again. Off the record, I never believed I hit him. So the timing of that is basically during the time where she's trying to figure out what happened to him. She's in a state of mind like everyone else where she's trying to figure out and understand what could have happened to him. So basically what she's saying here, the way she's wording it, is implying that at the time, not at the time of the alleged incident, but at the time when everybody was saying that she was saying, I hit him, right? Which was long after the fact and after they found his body. Okay? So she's saying, at the time, I thought maybe he changed his mind and ran after my car for a ride, and I clipped him and he passed out. So that's very different than just saying, I clipped him. She's saying, in the number of possibilities where I don't know what the fuck happened, I thought maybe it was possible that I clipped him and didn't realize it. That maybe he chased after the car. And yeah, all of that stuff, Cherry, absolutely. He would have had marks on the lower half of his body too, which he didn't have. So it doesn't make sense. So she's sitting here and trying to pass this shit off as some sort of admission of guilt from Karen Reed, when in all honesty, it is simply not. One thing I can tell you, I never thought that morning that his friends and a BPD coworker left him to die like roadkill. Every report that says I hit him is authored by Michael Proctor. I was screaming, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? So she is stating in this, in writing, that she's stating in writing that this is like bullshit. Okay? That she thought, that she entertained the possibility that maybe she could have clipped him because the thought that his so-called friends would have just left him out to die like roadkill wouldn't even pass her fucking mind. It wouldn't even enter her mind. So now this gets more interesting, okay? Because remember, this is supposedly of a thread from between Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. Now, this is going to get interesting, folks. Because I'm asking myself, how did Jennifer Coffindaffer get that? Okay. Now, what I'm looking at is the entire text thread. Okay. What I'm showing here is the entire text thread. And the entire text thread, this is my reply. I have a few guesses. It is probably a fake. Or two, why would why would Karen Reed go out of her way to leak a private text thread with a blogger when all her texts say off the record, or Ellie leaked it, or law enforcement leaked it? Now, this is important because what you're looking at, folks, is the person, the contact. Yes, texts are easily faked, and I think it's a fake. Personally, I think it's a fake. I'll explain why. This straight up says Turtle Boy as the contact. This is clearly an iPhone. Now, anybody who has an iPhone understands that, or even an Android, really, that the colored bubbles are from the sender, not the receiver. Okay? The ones that are just plain white are from the person that they're communicating with. The person holding the phone, their messages are in blue. Okay? So apparently, allegedly, Turtle Boy's asking, why did she do a 3-point turn by the flagpole and not the driveway? She didn't do a 3-point turn. Did she forget that she didn't? Why would she ever believe she hit him? Off the record. So that doesn't even sound like he's talking to Karen Reed. So you see what I'm saying? Like, off the record, I entered the street from Cedar Crest. This is not public and will be in a later motion, per John's ways. I never backed up at all. Turtle Boy, we have revealed that publicly and are saving it for a bigger motion. But we don't need to promote the 3-point turn story. That is from Jen and Matt McCabe's near identical GJ testimony. Do you know Carl James? Does she? Off the record, I never believed I hit him. I thought maybe he changed his mind and ran after my car for a ride, and I clipped him and he passed out. Now, this one sounds like he's talking to Karen Reed. One thing I can tell you, I never thought that morning that his friends, it's the same one that she highlighted, and a BPD coworker left him to die like roadkill. Every report that says I hit him is authored by Michael Proctor. I was screaming, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Okay. And I also said, you realize how dangerous what you're doing is. You're painting a picture of admission when that's not even what the text says. Plus, why would Karen Reed leak that? It makes no sense that she would take a screenshot from her phone and then send it to someone who would leak it to you. Why would Karen Reed do that? And you notice the language in Jennifer Coffindaffer's post where she says she needs to stop talking to people. It's not wise. Right? Just to cover that fucking narrative, just to help paint this narrative. That Karen Reed would take screenshots of an admission of guilt or something that could be twisted as an admission of guilt and share it with somebody. You know how I know Karen Reed did not do this? Because it's saying everything that it says starts with off the record. She has at least 2 of those messages that say off the record. So that means that she was doing everything she can to make sure that what she's saying does not get out there. Why in the shit would she take a screenshot of it? Because it has to be her to take that screenshot. Because if Turtle Boy took that screenshot, or the person that she's talking to, supposedly, and for all we know, this is a legit text thread. I haven't talked to Turtle Boy about it. I haven't asked him about it. It might be a legit text thread. But what I don't buy is that Karen Reed took these screenshots and deliberately shared them, went out of her way to get to that point in that text thread, take a screenshot, and then send it to somebody. That makes no sense, especially if those comments start with off the record. So what I think happened is LE, law enforcement, leaked these photos. Because I didn't think law enforcement could have done it. I figured that they already had and searched all her tech prior to ever even meeting Turtle Boy or talking to him or hearing about him. And no fucking way, right? There's no fucking way Turtle Boy would share that. Like, I just don't get that impression that he is that morally fucking bankrupt of a journalist that he would share something deliberately where it's clearly saying off the record. Now, this is another reason why I probably will never ask Turtle Boy if this is legit. But what it looks like to me is assuming that Turtle Boy respects his sources of information and respects when they say when they request something to be off the record and they're being open with him. Assuming that, and assuming Karen Reed is not stupid enough to deliberately take screenshots from her phone, because that had to come off her phone if that was her talking to Turtle Boy. She would not be stupid enough to take those screenshots. So what it seems like, because I just found out that it was only recent that they did an audit in search of her tech just recently. So, well, this wouldn't have came off his electronics, because I understand that too. If you're thinking that they seized his electronics and that's what they found on it, well, that wouldn't make sense, would it? Because the messages would be reversed as far as what the bubbles, the color of the bubbles. The contact at the top would say Karen Reed or a phone number or whatever fake name he would put there to protect her identity if he wanted to do that. Or, and the white bubbles would be blue and the blue bubbles would be white. Or green, depending. I mean, well, no, because that shows that he has an iPhone as well. But that's, yeah, that. So what I'm getting at is it's probably real. And it's in no way, shape, or form an admission of guilt. No way, shape, or form an admission of guilt. And that law enforcement leaked that screenshot once they got a hold of her tech. Somebody in that department leaked that screenshot. That's what I think. I mean, all I'm saying is that's what makes the most sense. Yeah, and in response to her saying, let's focus on John O'Keefe and all, instead of all the drama between Turtle Boy, the drama that Turtle Boy and Karen Reed have stirred up. Like, that's just some fucking projection right there. Because all she does is post bullshit about this case on Twitter. She posts bullshit saying that it's proof when it doesn't prove anything. And then at one point she posted some shit about that the dog, Chloe, is now in Montana. But didn't they put the house up for sale before they got rid of the dog? I mean, so, because supposedly the reason was that the dog, Chloe, got into a fight with another dog and they didn't want to live in the same neighborhood with the other dog. Right? But long before this, they put the house up for sale. Long before this supposedly happened. And I mean, Don't they need to get DNA off the dog? Why not just get the DNA off the dog? If they know where the dog is, why not just do it? And they accepted $50K less than the asking for that house, meaning they were trying to get the fuck out of there. And so, yeah, I responded in her fucking self-righteous fucking post about we need to just remember John O'Keefe. I'm like, you know that it's you actually the most responsible for stirring the drama surrounding this case, right? She has the biggest influence. She has the biggest pool. She has the largest following and demographic out of anybody posting their opinions about this case anywhere. And I said, every post that you ever even resemble, every post that ever even resembles one like this is you stirring the drama. Do better. Every single post that even resembles, that says John O'Keefe's name or Karen Reed, every single post perpetuates that drama because it's all she talks about. Always talking about conspiracy theorists, this and that, and the gang that Turtle Boy is. I mean, he's not a journalist. Like, why even acknowledge him? You know? Why even acknowledge him? Like, if you're so fucking, you know, like if he's such a problem. Because the fact is that the drama of this case is what sells. When is she ever giving any analytical insight that ever even adds up or makes sense? Like, ever on Twitter? I mean, it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating. I mean, let's go back to her Twitter, dude. Is she like removing? No, here we go. So crazy. Like, and look at, like, you're supposed to be objective, and you're just crucifying this woman who has no real evidence against her. Like, here we go. And here she says she hit him and left him there. The evidence is strong. There is no evidence. Those are dog scratches. None. That was made up, and people became doctors and medical examiners overnight, chiming in on what they saw in a photo, for heaven's sake. Chloe got into a fight with another dog. Those who got involved to break up the dog fight got bit by one or both of the dogs. Normally, if you have ever broken up a dog fight, normal if you have ever broken up a dog fight. Chloe is in Vermont due to a decision not to have her in the neighborhood with the same dog in light of what happened. Irrelevant to Officer O'Keefe. Please read the medical examiner's statement below about Officer O'Keefe's scratches on his arm. Please investigate. It's hard to watch you all be so misled by people with zero experience and with self-serving motives. So here it says, counsel for the defense states that the victim's injuries demonstrate that he was beaten severely and left for dead. The victim's medical records belie this characterization of his injuries. The medical records from Good Samaritan characterize the victim's injuries as right superior orbital ridge region, approximately 7 millimeters of laceration, and surrounding soft tissue swelling, contusion, breath sounds, I don't know what that word is, pulseless and superficial abrasions, right forearm. Dr. Scorty Bello testified before the grand jury at length regarding the victim's injuries. The doctor described Mr. O'Keefe's right arm injuries as scratches caused by a blunt object. The doctor noted that they appeared in a linear pattern. The doctor detailed that she observed no signs of altercation or fight from her examination of Mr. O'Keefe. Lastly, she testified in great deal as to the swelling of his eyes being related to the fractures in his skull and how those manifested into the observable swelling and discoloration of his face. And then Sleuthy, of course. I mean, she hasn't even blocked Sleuthy. That's crazy to me. There's a second medical examiner, though, and one with more experience than this one who addresses the injuries on his arm, which I'd like to see. So I could see her using that as some sort of way to sell the idea of this is fact to everyone, but it's not fact. Nothing in there said that that was not done by an animal. They appeared in a linear pattern. And observed no signs of altercation or a fight from her examination. Now, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Okay? It doesn't mean it didn't happen, A. And B, I mean, a dog's fucking claws are pretty blunt. They're sharp enough to make those lacerations. Especially a big dog, like a German Shepherd. Now, look, this dude right here says, I have vet experience, was a vet tech for many years. The skin tears, especially when the arm is pulled back from a dog's mouth. Those wounds absolutely appear to be dog bite wounds. Now, I don't know how fucking credible that shit is. You know, I don't know this fucking guy. He's got a picture of Matthew Perry there. So I'm definitely taking what he says with a grain of salt. But yeah, it's just very funny to me that she tries to pass that off as evidence when it's not evidence. It's simply not evidence. Yeah. Oh, she didn't delete this one. And in regards to the entire thread, oh yeah. I did read that out loud. Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, why not just highlight it? Why block out all of the other stuff that creates the context of what she was saying? Christine, thank you so much.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
Christine Ladorola. Thank you so much. Felt it was time for a quick break from her. Oh, you got it. All right. Yeah, like it's the little things. You know what I mean? Why did they black out all of the other stuff instead of just highlighting the part where where it's where you want the focus? I mean, it's and this guy's like, this should be it right there. No, bro. People are seeing this shit too, man. What is this? Oh, okay. This is the this is the so David Traub sent this to Michael Morrissey. Okay. Now I don't know who David Traub is, but this was sent to Michael Morrissey, Bukaki, Tully, John Fanning. She is a retired FBI agent with an enormous Twitter reach, who has provided context pushback to some of the more easily debunked aspects of the social media blitz. Just for John O'Keefe, reporting writing is one of the most difficult jobs in law enforcement. As my first boss in the FBI, let me pull up. Hold on. Okay. I can't see chat, but I'll glance over my phone once in a while. As my first boss in the FBI, Mr. Hooper told me, if it's not on paper, it didn't happen. Karen Reed conspiracy theorists have found two entries that are confusing. Conspiracy theorists have chosen to call the DA a liar based on the attached writings. The DA's statement was correct when he said Trooper Proctor was not at the Fairview address on 129. He wasn't. He was on call that day and got the ticket to respond to a homicide involving a motor vehicle. In law enforcement, when you are on call and you get that call, you go. Those involved were Karen Reed and John O'Keefe, and he did not know them. Okay. We know that that's a fucking lie. So, well, we know that he knows. That's the thing. Just because he didn't know them doesn't mean that there isn't something shady going on, because he obviously, we know for a fact that Proctor knows the McCabe's and the Alberts. So right there, when he took the call, he should have been like, this is a conflict of interest. We need to get somebody else on this. So what the fuck? And he was. And there's also an incoming call to Jennifer McCabe from Proctor that took place the morning of. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck she's trying to pull here. It's like, this is the thing. We're not asking, you're not even paying attention to what we're paying attention to. You're not paying attention to any of the, like, Coffindaffer. This is why I challenge her ability to fucking think, you know, because like we're not talking about that shit. We're talking about all this other stuff that's documented. It's absolutely documented. It's not a question of whether or not he knew John O'Keefe and knew Karen Reed. It's a question of whether or not he knew the Alberts and the McCabe's. And we know for a fact it's not rumor or speculation. We know for a fact that he was able to identify Jennifer McCabe's vehicle at Michael Proctor's house. What is she doing there? That, again, is a conflict of interest. She is a witness. That is sloppy police work. That is unethical police work. Everyone knows that. So it goes on to say, oh, wait.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
Mike Saya. Thank you. Those texts with Turtle Boy are from a psycho. Natalie, who acted as a liaison between Karen Reed and Turtle Boy, she has since flipped and joined the McCabe's and Alberts versus Turtle Boy. Okay, that's interesting. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you. And then it goes on to say, those involved, he did not know them, although Trooper Proctor and his boss, who he was with all day, hustled to respond. They had to rally up, find a vehicle that could tackle the blizzard conditions that existed. And by the time they arrived in Canton, the Fairview scene was clear to Officer Proctor, and his boss went to the Canton police office scene. Now, something just came to mind. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is actually what happened, but when we listened to Jennifer Coffindaffer earlier talking about how what she said was, now that I'm retired, what I'd love to do is get some other of my retired FBI buddies to go find this guy who attacked me, that inspired me to become an FBI agent. This is what she said. We listened to it earlier. Okay. But what that makes me think is, why does it have to be after you're retired and those guys are retired? I bet I can guess. Because conducting an investigation on your own attack is a conflict of interest. You can't do it. So if you understand, because that indicates to me that you understand the concept of a conflict of interest in a case, in an investigation. And now you don't find it suspicious that Michael Proctor is fucking hanging out with the McCabe's, that the Proctors are kicking it with the McCabe's and comforting each other in Turtle Boy's charging documents. It clearly says that they were comforting each other as victims, allegedly, of Turtle Boy's harassment and intimidation, which there's no evidence of. None. That would be construed as evidence of harassment and intimidation. So, I mean, if you understand the concept of a conflict of interest in an investigation, why don't you find it weird that the McCabe's and the Proctors are comforting each other? I mean, come on, man. You're killing me, lady. Let's see. They hustled to respond. They had to rally up, find a vehicle that could tackle the blizzard conditions that existed. And by the time they arrived in Canton, the Fairview scene was clear so Officer Proctor and his boss went to the Canton police office scene. Trooper Proctor took custody of Officer O'Keefe's cell phone, which had been retrieved from under Officer O'Keefe's body by a Canton police officer at the Canton PD scene. No issue with this. The Canton PD officer is in the chain, usual as an initial responding officer. Now in the inter-office correspondence below, not an official report, the person who wrote the memo said on the scene, not specifying the scene he was referring to was Canton PD and law enforcement. We use the scene to refer to the different scenes to response. The Canton PD was the scene Trooper Proctor and his boss responded to. Should it have been worded? I mean, it's clear. First of all, it's a conflict of interest if Michael Proctor is conducting an investigation with people who he knows that he went to high school with. It's just, but okay, let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's a small town. It's a small community. Everybody fucking went to high school with each other, right? Okay. Let's say that's the issue, right? Who else is going to do it? Well, I'd say that that possibly could be, resolved by finding someone else, but let's just say there's nobody else. How is it not inappropriate that Jennifer McCabe's vehicle is seen at Michael Proctor's house and the wives are comforting each other? That is a conflict of interest. That makes it a conflict of interest. And he should be taken off the case. And that alone is going to be a building block in getting Karen Reed's case dismissed in court. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And this is why they wanted to shut him up. This is why they wanted to shut Turtle Boy up, because he discovered this. And this is why they got the dispatcher fired, or at least on leave. So I mean, all of this is just, and here's the $64,000 question. How does she know all this if she's not talking to this DA? How does she know all this if she's not talking to Michael Proctor himself? I mean, because she's giving a lot of specific details of the day that this person was assigned this case, that this officer, this state trooper Proctor, was assigned this case. She's going over some really, really, really very detailed events here, right? So I mean, either he's talking to her directly or she's just stating this stuff as hearsay. Somebody else told her. Some source in the police department, right? But even still, that's not reliable information if that's the case. And why is Proctor sharing details of an investigation? I don't care if she's ex-FBI. She might as well be a tabloid journalist at this point, because that's really all she is. Like, when you think about it, and not even a good one. Because she gives fucking half of the information in whatever the fuck she's talking about. She clearly doesn't know everything or cover everything. And she's a tabloid journalist at best because she doesn't give any analytical insight when she's on News Nation, a tabloid news source. So, I mean, why is, if you see this is what she does with this information, why would you share this? How is that not an incompetent, considered incompetent behavior by the lead detective on a murder case of a police officer? That makes no sense to me. That you could justify that. I don't care if she's ex-FBI. I could see her getting this information and not discussing it with anyone. But it's clear that she's part of this somehow campaign against Turtle Boy. Because these people that she's talking to are the very people who showed up to his house and charged him. Oh, I mean, and there's a voicemail message there. I mean, this is just people. It's just, I mean, it's just fascinating. Yeah, man, this is, I mean, I don't understand how this person thinks that common sense people aren't going to see right through what she is not, which is someone who presents logic when talking about these things, like missing very simple things that a layman could clearly see, much less an experienced law enforcement agent. It's very clear. So, I mean, to me, Coffindaffer is a joke. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to like counter everything that she posts. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. Dude, it kills me, dude. Like there's people who go to college, bro. Hold on just once. Wait, I got to put you guys on hold for just a second. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you guys for waiting. So, this is you guys are gonna kill me for this, man. You guys are gonna like. I have absolutely no respect for anyone on an intellectual level just because they attended college and I didn't. Okay? Like it's amazing to me that, because all that is that it's basically you go to school and everything that you fucking learn is fucking bullshit anyway. A bunch of just useless a bunch of fucking useless information you're never gonna fucking use, and you're spending fucking 6 figures on a fucking education that, like, all it does is get your foot in the door with certain jobs. Because I can't tell you how many times that I'll talk to a college educated person. I'm not saying people who went to college are stupid. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just because you went to college does not put me in a position to absolutely all of a sudden just be like, oh, well, you're a fucking expert. You know, like, it just doesn't do that. Because if you can't even apply common sense in a fucking tweet, like, you're just fucking dumb to me, you know? Like, you know how fucked that is? do you have any idea how fucked that is? That I gotta, like, that GED guy here, like, can go on your own post and completely show how fucking dumb you are, how ignorant you are at your own profession, at your own fucking profession. Like, do you know how, like, it's not gratifying. What's gratifying to me, because I don't enjoy it, it's actually disheartening. It's disappointing. I don't enjoy it. Like, what's gratifying to me, what's validating to me is, like, if I have a lawyer in my chat and then I say something in theory and then that lawyer goes, actually, you're right. And then I'm like, oh, cool. Makes me feel real smart. But it doesn't make me feel good when somebody who is, and thank you in silent majority for becoming a member, I appreciate it. It doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It doesn't make me feel accomplished in any way or validated in any way when I'm sitting here and I'm somebody who depends on these law enforcement agents to think with common sense in order to execute justice for real victims. Because what is the FBI thinking if that type of thinking is the standard for somebody you give a badge and a fucking and a service weapon to? Because that's crazy to me. What does that say about the FBI? What does that say about the FBI? What does that say about their standards? If all I gotta do is just look at a fucking tweet, dude, if I'm the FBI, if I'm a member of the FBI, I'm embarrassed about her, dude. If I fucking served on as an FBI agent for who knows how many years, right? And this person was talking about real cases as though she's an expert on law enforcement and never makes any fucking sense. And uneducated dipshits like me can go into your fucking thread and just tear apart everything that you post, can just tear down your entire fucking idea of logic that you just blasted out there. You just fucking finger shat all over your fucking keyboard. Like, I can't even, like, dude, how are you? Dude, it's so frustrating when I see people who went to college, man, who worked their asses off to, like, study, and it's fucking useless because they can't even use common sense. That I can argue simple logic with them and not be shut down. Like, it's crazy. Like, if I'm those people in Canton, dude, I'm fucking mad. You know? Like, if I'm one of those people in Canton, I'm fucking mad. Like, it's like a nightmare, dude. It's like a fucking nightmare that a police officer was killed and everybody in charge of this is just asleep at the wheel. At least, if not fucking corrupt. But I'm not going there because I don't have any evidence of that. What I have is evidence of negligence. I don't even need to be an experienced police officer to know that you need to do better than put snow that's got blood on it in a fucking unsanitized fucking Solo cup. It makes no fucking sense, dude.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. Yeah, some of you guys, I mean, you guys just got to understand my position. I'm not defending anybody here. I just don't make these accusations about people without having some evidence. You know, I have to keep things very fair. You know what I mean? I don't just start throwing, like, if their fucking argument is going to be that, if their argument is going to be that it's all rumor and speculation, well, I'm gonna get facts. I'm gonna base all of my opinions on things that I can show you receipts on, and then explain how I look at them. And a lot of the things I'm saying are opinions based on very vague things, you know. But one thing that you can't deny is that these things are not normal in a murder investigation of a police officer, much less. These things are not normal. That town, Canton, absolutely needs to do that audit. Like, there's no cons to it. For the town, for the voters, there's no cons to it. And it's just weird to see people stand up there and go, well, we're supporting the police no matter what. And we don't care to find out if they're actually doing their job. We just support them. What? And none of them actually said that, but they're kind of saying that. When they're saying no to the audit, it seems like they're being like, well, no, we don't want to find out that they're doing something bad. Michael Saya, thank you so much. Appreciate you becoming a member. Good for you, Tom CPU. And I'm so grateful to you guys that are local there, man. Because, dude, I'm serious, man. I really feel for you guys, man. Like, I can't imagine how it feels to have to live in that kind of tension, that you would live in a dysfunctional household where you would just be like, you know what? This dysfunction sucks and it makes me uncomfortable. And all I got to do is fucking leave, because I'm that guy. You know, I'll just be like, this fucking sucks. I'm out. You know? But how are you going to do that in your hometown where you pay taxes, where you feel you have just as much a right to live there as anybody else who disagrees with your opinions on these things that are happening to your town? I feel so bad for everyone on each side, because here's the thing is, everybody believes that they're right, you know? Everyone believes that they're right in this. You know, what I want is for you guys to get this audit and and be able to just fix the problems that will hopefully unite your town again. You know? I mean, like a town in Boston, like in the greater Boston area, that's divided is a sad, sad thing when you think about it on the level of what sports fans are like there, what Patriots fans and Celtics fans are like, Bruins fans. Like that's there, there's nobody more united. And this horrible, terrible thing that's happening to your town right now is dividing you guys, and it's really sad because I think that the majority of everybody here that I've seen, I think all of those people that were speaking up at that board select meeting were good people. I got the vibe that they were all good people, you know? But yeah, I really, really hope, truly hope that you get this audit. So that you can fix the problems that you have every right to not have to worry about. You should feel safe. you should feel perfectly safe, and I mean, you should be sleeping soundly under the blanket of knowing that your cops are doing everything they can to protect you, and that your elected officials are representing you properly. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know, man. I feel like it's probably going to pass. I do. I feel like it's probably going to pass, you know? I mean, and if it doesn't, I don't know. I don't know what the next move would be, you know? That stuff is way above my pay grade. I don't know how that shit works. See, that's what I'm seeing. I mean, like, I'm seeing people like this who's a proud resident and says, I'm offering anyone who needs a ride to vote a way to get there. It has to pass. Like, that's what old school fucking politicians did, man. Back in the day, old school politicians who were running for office would go around in a fucking pickup truck and go to every fucking part of town and start throwing people in their truck to fucking go to the voting booths. You know? Those are the passionate ones, you know? And Tom isn't even, I don't think he's a politician. Unsilent majority, thank you so much. Deploy the whole truth of who, what, why the deep state is working so hard to cover John's murder up, frame Karen, and silence Turtle Boy. Ask the people how, just like Sam Adams did 250 years ago. Use the truth. Agreed. I mean, agreed. You know, I again, the way that I look at these cases, and I can't treat this case any differently than any other case. And I hope you people understand this, because I can't treat this case any different than any other case. I still have to wait for trial. I've never actually covered a case where I seriously thought that the person being charged was innocent. Like, I won't make that accusation and say they're guilty without enough evidence. But 90% of the time, I thought that they were guilty. You know what I mean? But for me, this is the first time that I can remember that I genuinely, passionately thought, thank you, Patricia, I appreciate that. That I passionately thought that something was seriously wrong here. But I have to wait for the facts to come out in trial. Or for them to say, we just don't have a case and drop the charges against her. You know? But there's so much. I mean, the charges against Turtle Boy being such bullshit. Even then, there's obviously a problem in that town if their solution to solving their problems is to try to shut someone up and slap bullshit charges on them. That's a problem. You know? That's a serious fucking problem in that town and the way things work. If the solution isn't, okay, we need some serious good points here have been made as far as this investigation goes, and the people demand that we take some action. The people demand that we start setting our standards a little higher on how these investigations are conducted. You know, like, if that doesn't happen and their response instead is to just simply go and charge the guy who's bringing up all of these points and uncovering all of this shit with proof. I mean, right. Here's the thing. And thank you, Patty Murphy, for joining. I appreciate it. See, you've got a good point here, Scott. Said, Will, I understand your point, waiting for trial, but you know what you see here is glaringly wrong. Absolutely. I caught the pun, by the way. It's absolutely wrong. That's why my whole heart right now, my whole heart is not, and I'm not saying this because I think she's guilty, because I don't. I'm just saying we have to wait for trial. But I am guilty. I am an innocent until proven guilty type person, first and foremost. Second of all, what I'm pissed off about I'm pissed off for the people of Canton. That's what I'm mad about. I'm pissed off for the people of Massachusetts. Because, as I stated before, whether Karen Reed is guilty or innocent, it doesn't matter, because justice was absurdly mishandled. The process to getting justice was grossly mishandled. So she's not going to get convicted. There's just no fucking way that a jury is going to convict her. There's just no way. There's too many things that are going to get this thrown out of court. There's just too many things. So the system failed the people of Canton because A, they have an innocent woman locked up, or B, she's guilty and they fucked up the process of the investigation so bad that no way 12 jurors are going to convict her. And she's going to get off on a technicality. But either way, that system failed the people of Massachusetts, failed the people of Canton. There's just no denying that. That system absolutely failed the people of that local area. Thank you, Mike CF, for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Susanna Cleveland, appreciate the super sticker. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is this is the saddest part, is everyone wants justice for John O'Keefe. As far as the citizens of Canton go, I'm not talking about the players, the characters, names, and all of this. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about just the average working, tax-paying citizen of Canton wants justice for John O'Keefe. Whether they think Karen Reed is guilty or innocent, they all want justice for John O'Keefe. And they're split. And this is a sad, sad thing. Because everybody set that their way is the way to get justice for John O'Keefe. And that's a horrible thought when you think about it. Because this entire town, who's split down the middle, on the verge of imploding, all of them want justice for this police officer. All of us talking about it want justice for this police officer. We want justice for his loved ones. But anyways, guys, I am going to wrap this up. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for joining. New members. I hope you didn't feel pressured in any way. I put this under members only. I honestly did not expect such a turnout. Honestly, I put this for members only because I have yet to give perks to my members, and there have been so many that show support with these memberships. So I just want to be able to do something to to make you have some exclusivity here. But it was amazing. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope I could do more. So yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I plan to keep doing with what I'm doing, Tom CPU. I absolutely plan to, because I have strong opinions about this. I do. But you know, as far as my opinion on Karen Reed's guilt or innocence, you know, based on what I know, I believe she's innocent. Based on what I know, I believe she's innocent. But again, I don't know 100% what's going to come out in trial, you know? And if for me to be a logical, rational person, I have to look at it that way. I just have to do that. It's what I've always done with every case here, and I plan on seeing this all the way through. But I just hope that some changes get made in that town so that John O'Keefe can get justice. And anyone who's unfortunately who suffers any type of injustice or demise in the way that he did, I hope you guys I hope that the whole town gets justice. But yeah. But yeah, anyways, guys, I love you guys a lot. I appreciate you, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.